Right, bit of a mishap with the video last week. I accidentally posted it to private, so it is like officially out after the round, but I want to swear my heart to God I made those dog shit predictions before the round started. It's not like I alley-ooped either of them. You know, I got one of them right, one of them wrong. And to be honest, the Hawthorn game, it was a bit of a long shot. Like, it was a bit of blind faith. I want the excitement. Hawks, Pies, that would be amazing granny, but didn't happen. So we're left with, again, another major granny. Like, how many times have I said all year that Brisbane and Geelong, they're probably the two best teams in the comp, and we get to watch them come head to head on the biggest stage of the year. You know what I mean? No, it's pretty sick though. Their game earlier in the start of the finals was a bit of a blowout, and I don't expect the final to be the same. I'll leave my predictions till the end. I will run through the other games first, but just to sort of get that fucking off the top, yeah, it's been a fucking fun round of finals. It's been a fun finals campaign overall. I wouldn't say that they're the highest tier games. It's not as neck and neck as maybe you would expect by how close the top like 9 teams were during the season. It's sort of come to the point of the year where like the experience really shines through, a bit of that professionalism. You can't run on emotion as much. You got to sort of be structured, intense, and violent behind the ball. I don't fucking know. But anyway, Geelong and Hawthorn. Now, what a fucking game this was. I actually missed the first half of the game because I was driving. I watched it back so that I'm fully fucking tapped in to what was going on. Hawks started this strong, right? Like, the lead that they got out to, I think it was like 20 odd points, maybe a bit more. It's not a huge lead, but the way that they were playing, they looked way more fucking dominant. They looked like they had brought all of that like energy and intensity from the past couple of weeks into this Geelong game, and it was getting on top of them. You know, they were managing to break down Geelong's structure a little bit and just throw fucking everything they had at them, and it was resulting on the scoreboard. Their pressure was really high. Key individuals were filling their role. I wouldn't say that anyone was an out and out superstar in this first half for the Hawks, but just on a general team level, there wasn't very many underperformers either. There wasn't many fumbles in key moments and that sort of shit that would like get into your mind state a bit and rumble and like upset the core emotion that you're like trying to ride the wave of. They didn't look rattled, but then Geelong in the second quarter kind of just, I don't know, they must have copped a fucking howling at quarter time, because they came out, and you know, you expect that from Chris Scott, but they came out just ready to fucking fight. It was no longer this like, oh shit, we're kind of losing. It was like, that's not an option, you know? That Paddy Dangerfield would not let that happen. Took the world on his shoulders and just ran through every fucking pack. So fucking tough and intense. Someone needs to do like a genetic study on his body. It's a bit like Yoel Romero. You can't be that old and that sick. You can't be that old and that gun. It just biologically doesn't make sense. You meant to hit a wall at some point, maybe, but these cunts seem to not be doing it. You know, Geelong's a pretty, they're not an old list, but they're a bit more old than the Hawks, obviously. But none of that showed in terms of like body wear down or anything like that. They were fresh, they were fast, they were fit, they were fearful. Well, they made the Hawks fearful. Fucking linguistic genius over here. Anyway, Tom Stewart getting concussed sent worries, I'm sure, amongst all of the Geelong supporters. He's a very important player, a very important and solid key role defender that just falls off the back, peels around and intercepts fucking everything. And I mean, he hasn't been as effective this season as prior seasons, that's for sure. His role's kind of been found out a little bit, like throw a tag on him or sort of just make sure that he's manned up and like force him to defend the player, and he doesn't have that like versatility that he usually does when he's left a bit more free to roam around. But that's a big out. You know, I'm glad that Chol didn't get suspended. They were saying 3 weeks, it's the same tackle as Paul Curtis. It's not the fucking same tackle, bro. For one, there's another lad half-legging Tom Stewart. You know, there's already another another person in motion there that's kind of like taking the legs and drawing him forward. Mabior has no option other than just not tackle, I guess, which you can say, I guess, maybe you shouldn't tackle in certain situations, whatever. If you want to make that argument, make it. I'm not a fan of that one, though. So let's go with the thing that he is going to tackle. What can he do to not get the fucking 3 weeks? Roll out of it, which I think he actually kind of did. Again, it's hard when all the momentum from another person is already pushing in one direction. It's pretty big task to sort of fucking pivot and pull Tom Stewart's body on top of yours. But I do feel like he was sort of rolling, like it wasn't like a diving down motion. And then the arms free thing, I fucking hate this rule. I fucking hate it. You'll see someone with one arm pinned on the ground and both their legs are tucked behind their back and they're trying to fucking doing this, and it's like holding the ball, he had one arm free. And then other, like Paul Curtis, and this being a prime example, perfect fucking tackles. Yes, the person got hurt. Now, that's unfortunate. It's kind of how you have to like grade contact sports. It's just going to happen. Now, we want to avoid it as much as possible. I get all of that. Anyway, nothing in it. That's all I'm saying. Fucking big little tangent to say that Tom Stewart was a worry when he was out, but the Cats didn't seem to mind at all. In fact, they looked better without him. Now, that's not saying that he was like weighing them down or anything like that. I feel like they just got their momentum going the further they went into this game. They pushed, they pressed, and they showed a bit of fucking professionalism. Again, is like sort of the word that I keep going to use here. It's not that like they're a far better team than Hawthorn. It's just that in these big pressure moments, they have more experience, they have more individual players who will take on responsibility, I guess. Like Dangerfield being the obvious one that just carries the whole fucking team on his back. But Atkins throwing out fucking thousands and thousands of tackles. That sort of thing where there's not a single player on Geelong that's waiting for things to happen. They're making them happen. It works, obviously. It fucking works. And I'm not saying that Hawthorn was sitting around and waiting for the ball to fall into their hands. They were trying, but forcibly trying. They were trying to get their game style played. And that's another thing about the finals, is it really does come down to your brand of footy. I feel like Hawthorn's brand is very fun, exciting, and can catch you off guard, but it's hard to, in the middle of a game, move magnets and change the dynamic of the field. Like they threw fucking Impey into the forward and they threw Watson into the back line for a bit of speed, I guess, around the ball, but at their back, because that's where they were getting killed. But dude, that's not how you do that, Sam Mitchell. Come on, you're the genius, brother. You're the genius. What are you doing? Didn't like that move. I didn't think that was the right play. Now, Impey actually did kick a goal, I think, early in the game, and don't get me wrong, I think Impey is one of the most underrated players in the entire AFL. Yes, his name gets talked around by commentators and shit like that, but the general public don't fucking talk about him enough. His efforts are unbelievable. I'm not taking anything away from his skill here, but he's not a fucking forward. Compared to Nick Watson, he's not a fucking forward. I get the idea of you need speed in the back line, but that speed could probably come from somewhere else. I'm thinking CJ, who was injected in the sub and played like high wing, I think. Or maybe he was playing halfback and he was just running up the wing, but he's got a lot of speed, and he was nowhere near the fucking back line. Structure errors. Structural fucking decomposition at Hawthorn. And Geelong capitalised on it, and it was a powerful victory. It was a big moment victory, you know? They look like a fun team to be at. They're not that fun to watch. That's kind of wrong. They're very professional, but they're not like exciting as like an Adelaide or a Hawthorn or a run and gun carry sort of style, like the Giants for example, which is proving to not be very successful in finals, this year at least. Cope. Dangerfield had a blinder. It's cool as fuck watching him do what he does, and it's like it's almost unbelievable how fucking solid he is, how strong he is. He just breaks through fucking everything. Newcomb was kind of underwhelming. Mr. September got shut down by Atkins again, just fucking locked him down pretty much and limited his impact. In the first, he was getting away a little bit, but they tightened it up, and Hawthorn are a midfielder short. Like, I was sort of iffy on it and thinking like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely their weak spot, but I wouldn't say that they're too weak. But in games like this, it really like comes to the surface where you see like they just don't have that breaking ability to like burst through and sort of get that first disposal out, clear it out, make it big, which is what they want to be doing. They don't want it in tight and stoppage heavy. Geelong don't mind a stoppage heavy game, so it was a bit of blind faith. Or maybe I tipped Geelong to beat the Hawks. Yeah, I did. Okay, never mind. I'm a dumb cunt. Ignore everything I said prior. Let's move to the game that I got wrong. Pies and the Lions. What a fucking game this was. This was finals quality, right? So the first quarter, similar to the Hawks and Geelong game, got out to a fucking landslide for the Lions. The Pies were missing a lot of shots, and I feel like they were getting caught up in the emotion and like losing their temperament a little bit. They were getting too in their heads and fucking making a lot of mistakes, but the Lions were very strong. Clearly the better team in that first quarter. And then it all sort of turned on its fucking head for that second, and the Pies looked unstoppable. You know, Schultz was getting involved. Cox didn't have the worst game. He got his fucking eyes pulled out by Zorko. Zorko was kind of Collingwood's best player for a while there. Zorko, I think, fucked up and fed Collingwood 3 or 4 direct goals, like direct fuck-ups leading to goals. It was all Zorko's fault. But that got them into the game a bit. It really brought them like fucking back into contention for actually like winning this game. They got out in front, and it was a very, very convincing second quarter. Second quarter, not second half. The wheels started to fall off here. Wasn't necessarily a bad quarter for the Pies, like horrible yet. There was cracks starting to show. They kicked 2-3. Feel like that accuracy would have mattered, you know, that makes a difference. And the Lions were just able to start eating away at them and sort of chipping at them and making their mistakes punishments again. Same thing as in the first quarter. Every time the Pies fucked up, the Lions were there to scoop it up and make like impact on the scoreboard the other way. Rayner was fucking outstanding. McCluggage again, disposal machine. Will Ashcroft, he does these freaky fucking things things where he kicks goals and you're like, fuck me, cunt. Just, you're not meant to be doing that. Stop it. This is like your second year playing footy. Stop doing that, please. Cunt, please. Unbelievable talent. The game was poised as like this momentum swinging sort of outing where like the first quarter was the Lions, second quarter was the Pies, the third quarter was much closer, but it's still the Lions, and then you feel like the Pies might scrape it back. Didn't happen. It started going that way. Don't get me wrong. Jamie Elliott took the mark of all time. No, not all time. I reckon there are better marks throughout the year. We'll talk about that quickly. What the fuck did Sam Darcy win the mark of the year for? This mark from North is so much fucking better. So much fucking better. For one, I know it's a mark. Darcy does kind of drop the ball, and it's just less impressive athletically. He's flying back with the flight, sure, but the North count is fucking launching like a torpedo straight off into space. You know what I'm saying? And just fucking all caution to the wind. I thought that was a bit on the nose, bit of a favoritism for, hey, this guy's the best player in the comp, he's the unicorn, he's the new fucking whatever. Yeah, that wasn't mark of the year though, was it, Kaz? Anyway, getting distracted. Jamie Elliott took a fucking screamer. Awesome. Because that's Elliott. If they counted marks in the finals, then he would have got the mark of the year. And last year was the same shit where Isaac Heaney took mark of the fucking year in the finals. Anyway, let's get off of it. Elliott was standing up and converting. The Pies were coming back with a lot of fucking heat, a lot of force. They were throwing it back to goal. Long runs from the deep 50, from the deep defense. And there was this big moment. Now, I've actually forgotten the two players involved. I think it was Elliott and someone. Fletcher, maybe. Big moment, right as Collingwood has a bit of a momentum swing back, and it's looking like this could turn the other way or get very, very close. They're very in the game at this point. Big fucking peeling back for a mark, and lad comes across, spoils the ball. Crowd goes ballistic. Commentators go ballistic. Jack Riewold's a fucking idiot. I hate Jack Riewoldt so fucking much. He's one of the dumbest commentators on planet Earth. Anyway, everyone's going ballistic, saying, oh, it's fucking front on contact. It's a free. In the moment, it looked like a free. I'll 100% be honest. I was like, oh, that's Steph. That's fucking Steph. They've shown the replay. Not once does the Brisbane line defender take his eyes off the ball. Not once does he chop the arms at all. He hits the ball first, and there's a tiny bit of forearm contact, but he's very within his right to be able to do that. And yes, there's front on contact in terms of his body. Their bodies clash here. One's running that way and fucking clash into it. During the year, this probably would have been called a front on free. Like, I'm not going to fucking debate that. It is, the standard is set that is probably a free based on what we've seen through the rest of the year. But as much as I wanted the Pies to win, I was very much going for the Pies. I very much don't like the fucking Lions. I don't think this is a free kick at all. And I think that this being the moment that really dropped the heads of the Collingwood club and supporters, the ground got noticeably more dour, and the Lion supporters got noticeably louder. I don't think this is a bad call. And to see a bunch of the people in the commentary and the media come out and say the AFL will have to apologise and say that they got this wrong. This is shocking. This is disgraceful. I feel like big Jonathan Brown was the only one sitting there actually arguing, saying, no, we were wrong. I thought it was free at the start, but I was fucking wrong. He didn't say it fucking wrong, but you know what I mean. He was arguing back against the guy that I like, the fucking Ralphie with the nose. Yeah, he's funny. Anyway, it wasn't a free kick in my eyes, but I understand the argument both ways, but it was the moment where Collingwood lost all their steam and they fell out of the game pretty much, and Brisbane packed it on them pretty quickly. You know, it went from being like they're a goal in it, you know, they're about to take the lead again through this momentum shift, and then they ended up losing by what, 35 points or something? 29 points. So they ended up losing by 30 points, but from there it was all fucking downhill. I think they got a compensation prize right at the end and got a little goal to pull back that margin. Maybe that's why I thought it was a bit more. Charlie Cameron kicks a goal and brings them a little bit closer into it. Ty Gallop, what a fucking season he's having. Like a finals campaign, very compelling player. It's gonna make Oscar Allen not fit in almost. I feel like Ty Gallop, invest in that. Oscar Allen, kind of mid as fuck. This Ty Gallop lad, he's proving that in the big game moments, he's really capable of standing up, and he's having a great fucking campaign. He gets one, and then Zorko gets one to ice it off. You get Cameron, a young gun. I think Lohman got one in there as well, maybe. Not too sure, but that could be the case. Regardless though, you got Cameron, who's Mr. Slumber Sleepy, having the worst season of all time, kicking a goal, bringing out the big like, yes, let's fucking go, keep going. Then you got a youngster coming out and kicking a goal and just getting everyone electric, being like, fuck yes, this is the youth at our club. And then the legend Zorko kicks one to ice the game off, who very much was fucking up and keeping Collingwood in the game at the start. So it's kind of like a storybook finish for them. I'm not too happy about it. Again, they were the better team on the day, for sure, but I can conclusively say that who I'm barracking for in the finals is Geelong. Do I think they've got it in them? Yeah. I do. I really do. I think that not only did they beat Brisbane really convincingly earlier in this finals campaign, I think that just in general, that at the moment, there's this invincibility around their club. They've got the Bailey Smith-Max Holmes combination. They got the tackle machine that is Atkins. They got Jezza firing on all cylinders up forward. A few of their other forwards are really doing well. Sangle's having a great finals campaign as well, and he's a little bit under-talked about because he's not having big, impactful, freaky goal moments necessarily. Speaking of freaky fucking goal moments, Paddy Dangerfield running down the boundary in like the Hawks game, and he fucking off the outside of his wrong foot while running at the boundary does this dinky little chip pass into Jack Martin, who then kicks a goal. That was fucking sick. And Dangerfield, again, how are you doing it? Get into a lab, we need to fucking test your DNA. Going back to it, you know, like Geelong looks so primed and firing, and I'm not saying that Brisbane don't. They look really good right now as well, but I feel like Brisbane's first quarter, Geelong is going to capitalise on that more than Collingwood did. Geelong is going to capitalise on their mistakes more so. Geelong had error moments for sure, and they had down moments in the game against Hawks, but again, I just don't feel, I feel like that was they were still more competitive when they were in their down periods than Brisbane were against the Pies. This is a bit of footy math and a bit fucking abstract, and maybe I'm just fully biased that I want the Cats to win, so I'm making up any argument in my head. They're more structured, they're more composed, and I feel like they have more talent. I feel like their important players are firing on higher cylinders. You know, Charlie Cameron, I'd take Stengel right now, and they fill a similar role. As good as this Ty Gallup lad is, I'm taking Jezza every day of the week. Rayner is so fucking good, but there's the argument to be made that Dangerfield is kind of doing similar things, or even Atkins is doing it with just the tackle pressure. Rayner doesn't really lay as many tackles as he breaks, but anyway, Holmes and Smith, McCluggage is a gun, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like the Cats really have got this one in the bag. Now, it's not a Giants final, so that fucking sucks a lot. Can't say I've been doing too well with it, but you know, the mantra is that it's all G, it's all good, please. I can't complain. Overall, this has been a great year of footy. A fun year to do this in. No matter what happens next week, it's all G. That's one thing you need to remember. I'll probably do an overall season breakdown maybe thing at the very end and just final little thoughts of who was a sick gun, who was a shit gun, whatever. I already kind of did that in the break week between the finals, but... Dangerfield kicks 2, Rayner kicks 2, Cameron kicks at least 1, Brian Myers for 20, McCluggage for 24, Will Ashcroft for probably goal of the season, and at least 1 horrible umpiring decision. Get your punts in with Jeck. Everything in my life is horrible right now, and I want to throw myself off a bridge, but it's all G, and we push on. Yeah.